Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'd. Brothers and sisters, do you know what redundancy means? You know what that means? I'm trying to figure out how to speak to you for a few moments without being redundant. We have had some magnificent speakers today. I myself wrote notes from the very beginning to the ending. Very, very powerful. And all the speakers already said what I wanted to say. No, for real. See, you should never be like that speaker who stands in front of the people and say, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I have nothing to say, and then spend 1 hour proving he had nothing to say. So I'm going to try to give you some context, and we're going to talk about a faith in crisis, a crisis in faith. It exists. There are about 2,200,000,000 Christians on this earth. 1,800,000,000 Muslims. About 1 billion Hindu. 500 million Buddhists. And they say 15 million Jews. I think there's more than that in other religions. But we notice the trend in those other religions. For the first time in the history of Norway, there are more atheists than Christians. 39% of the people in Norway are atheists. In UK, from 1960 until now, over 10,000 churches have been closed. And they say by 2020, another 4,000 churches in UK will be closed. The experts believe that in the year 2070, Islam will become the most populated religion in the world. It's a fact that many churches have been closed down only to be purchased by Muslims to open up masjids. Synagogues closed down only to be turned into masjids. It's all over in Europe, all over in America. Let me share this with you. You see, the crisis of faith is not just in the non-Muslim communities, in the Muslim community. I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Sweden, 4,515,000 atheists. 46% of the population atheists. Netherlands, I met a brother from Netherlands. Where are you? Yeah. Netherlands, 6,769,000 atheists. 40% of the population atheists. United Kingdom, 25,920,000 atheists. 40% of the population atheists. Germany, 30,855,000 atheists. 38% of the population atheists. Japan, 58,342,000 atheists. 46% of the population atheists. China, 1,029,000,000 atheists. 75% of the population atheists. But we ain't worried. You say churches are closing down, we're building masjids. You saying synagogues are being closed, we're building masjids. Never forget what the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said. You will follow those who came before you step by step and inch by inch, so that if they crawled in the hole of a lizard, you'll fall right behind. I'm concerned about this ummah. I am concerned about our youth. You know, years ago in the 60s, there was a night program, and they would come with the nightly news, 11 o'clock, and they say, it's 11 o'clock, do you know where your children are? My question to you today, here in this prestigious masjid, where are the Muslims? Where are we? You see, if you listen to the words of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, he gives you a hint. One of you do the work of the people of Jannah, حتى ما يكون بينه وبينها إلى ذراع, until there is nothing except the distance of a handful. People do the work of the people of Jannah, and then all of a sudden they start doing the work of the people of the hellfire, يَدْخُلُهَا, and they go into it. We must remember this. 2008, a man named Ernie Chambers in Omaha, he's a legislator, sued God in the court of law, charging God with seeking a permanent injunction against God's harmful activities. This is the issue of man. And this is why Allah said, وَلَا يُسْأَلُوا أَمَّا يَفْعَلُوا وَهُمْ يُسْأَلُونَ. He, Allah, would not be questioned, but we will be questioned. You want to blame it on Allah. Whatever happens, you want to blame it on Allah. But you can't do it. When I was in the 3rd grade, they taught me a song that I never forgot. Would you like for me to sing it for you? Yes. Yeah, I know you would. Yeah, I knew you would say that. So Brother Shabir Ali was singing it for us. No. The song went something like this. I never did forget the song until now. Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you. Getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. And I've come to the conclusion, brothers and sisters, that there's nothing like getting to know Allah. That's why we're here, to know Allah. Now, Shabir, you've heard me give many talks. Have you ever heard me quote poetry? No. Any of you? Spoken word? Can I do one now? And the reason I'm doing this is because I believe that artists embed their philosophy in their work. In the song, you may think it innocent, or the movie, or the spoken word, or the novel. But in that novel, in the spoken word, if you would listen to the words, and sometimes the rhythmic beat make you not hear it, but it goes into the subconscious. So I'm going to quote from you. Which poet would you like for me to quote? Don't tell me Jay-Z. Actually, Shakespeare. I want you to listen carefully. Macbeth. Macbeth's wife just died. And he's going to give a little talk. And I want you to listen to the implications of the talk. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor play that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. What? Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing? This is the meaning of life for you? And I've come to the conclusion. Someone once said, seeing is believing. I get what you're saying. But really, not seeing is believing. Seeing is affirmation. Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet said, Ya Aisha, هذا جبريل يقرأ عليك السلام. قالت عليه السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته ترى ما لا أراه. Oh, Aisha, here is Jibril giving you the greetings. Did Aisha see Jibril? No. She returns the greeting. And then she said, Ya Rasulullah, you see what I don't see. Allah asked the angels, what are my slaves saying? Of course, he knows the answer. To give us a point. What are my slaves saying here in London? What are they saying in New York and Detroit? What are they saying in the Netherlands? What are my slaves saying? Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. That's what the angels say. Allah asks the question, how ra'awni? Do they see me? Yaquluna la. Nara'uka. No, ya Allah, they don't see you. What if they saw me? Oh, they'll be strong in singing praises to you. Allah asked the question to the angels, and what are they asking me for? Yaquluna al-Jannah. Your servants in the masjid, in their homes, in the hospital, near death, they're asking for your Jannah. How do they see the Jannah? Qala la. No, they don't see it. What if they saw the Jannah? You Muslims, all of you, none of you seen the Jannah, but yet you making dua to Allah. And what are they seeking refuge from? They're seeking refuge from the hellfire. And do they see the hellfire? No, they don't see the hellfire, but we trust in you. Oh Allah, we trust that there is a hellfire. And I've come to the conclusion, you can't judge Allah in this life. And this is why the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, Allahumma la aisha illa aishul akhirah. Oh Allah, there is no life except the life of the hereafter. You are bedazzled by this life, this short life. Somebody I heard on the radio, he said that value is something someone is willing to pay for. Value. If you're a believer, even though you haven't seen the Jannah, you want it. And this is what Hamdulillah radiallahu an, he said to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, nafaqa Hamdulillah, I've become a hypocrite. Why? Why? Because when we're in your presence, you remind us of the Jannah as if as if we have seen it. You remind us of the hellfire as if we have seen it. So brothers and sisters, what are the prophets here to do? My talk today is two parts. The first part, especially Mustafa, you more than anyone, you were sitting next to me in the bus. And you didn't look at my notes, right? I'm just messing with him, man. Because my second part is going to be redundant. Some things that Sheikh Mustafa said. The first part, all of the speakers, because we have a crisis now in the faith. I've always said that every masjid, every Muslim organization, they have two doors. They have a front door by which people become Muslim. I am one of the ones who came to the front door. Hamza Yusuf, Zaid Shakir, Abdul Hakim Quick, Abdul Hakim Jackson. All of these, we come to the front door and we became Muslim, but the problem is we have a back door by which Muslims are leaving the faith. And the job of the imams and the scholars and the leaders and the parents and the teachers and the director is to open wide the front door and close that back door. But there's something about Allah. One thing you will learn about him, he's not going to force you. He's not going to make you. No one can believe except by Allah's permission. So no matter how many signs you show them, you can show them every kind of sign, but don't necessarily mean that they will come to the faith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's something that Allah is testing us, and that's what I'm going to talk about for the next few moments. If you give me just a few minutes. You give me a few minutes? Of course. You give me 5 minutes. You give me 10 minutes. You ain't going to give me 20 minutes. Be careful. Don't tempt this guy. You're giving Imam a mic. I want to close with this, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to tell you why. There are a lot of reasons people leave the fold of Islam. Let me give you 2 basic ones. Number 1, I call it a slow leak. A slow leak. You know the experiment of the frog in hot water. So the scientist, he takes a bowl and heat it up, it's boiling water. And they take the frog and put the frog in the water. Immediately, the frog jumps out of the water. Why? Because of the intensity of the heat. Every living animal can't stand heat, so it runs from the fire. And then the scientist takes a bowl of cool water and put the frog in the water, and the frog starts chilling. He's swimming. He's cooling out, having a good time. And then the scientist puts a very low flame under the pot, and the water slowly, ever so slowly, begins to heat up. And that frog stayed in the water until it died. And the reason is because it couldn't distinguish the subtle changes. Our children are like that. They're listening to influences. They stop reading the Quran. They're reading other people's stuff. And they're losing faith, and it's a slow leak, and all of a sudden, this Wednesday I'm at my masjid, after Salatul Dhuhr, a brother comes to me and said, Imam, I need your help. I'm losing my son, he's 22 years old. I want you to make dua. Now, let me tell you something. You know me, I always believe that when someone asks me to make dua, I make dua even though I don't believe that my dua is better than any of yours at all. I really don't believe that. I was in Newark Airport one day, and I'm standing at the terminal. I'm in the wrong terminal, so a man comes by. He said, sir, do you need help? I said, yes. He said, get in the car. I have to go to Sunset's terminal. He said to me, Assalamu alaikum. I'm a Muslim from Saudi, and he don't know Imam Siraj, but I look like a Muslim. He said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, wa alaikum salam. He said, me and my wife been married for years and we have no children. Please make dua for me. A complete stranger. Qala rabbukum ud'uni astajib lakum. Your Lord said, call upon me, I will answer. Allah is my witness. I made dua for this brother and his wife over a week, every day, all day long. A stranger. Because this is where the ummah is, a stranger. I'm driving my car. I drive from New York City to Atlanta, Georgia, 900 miles. And I stop at North Carolina to rest, to get some fuel, and to make my salat. And there I go. I went to the side, and I making my salat, Allahu Akbar. And when I finish the salat, I see 13 strange Muslims who are joined in the salat. They don't know me. We're Muslims and we're praying to Allah, to the Qibla. So they joined me. So we have to make dua for one another, for ourselves. So this brother said, Imam, but I don't want you to just make it for me. I want you, Salatul Asr, to ask the entire congregation to make dua for my son. And I did, because he asked me. You know the number one reason people give? The number one reason people give is because you ask. Ask. Allah is telling us to ask Him. So we have our children leaving the fold of Islam. You, every one of you, know right now people who used to practice no longer practice. Everyone could be in your family. Family members, your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, your uncle, your grandfather, your friend, your best friend. Many of them leaving the fold of Islam. Why? And the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, gave us a clue. Yusbihu rajulu mu'minin wa yumsi kafir. Person will begin in the morning believing, and by the end of the day, disbelieve. Person believe at night, and by the morning they disbelieve. What is it? It's not a slow leak, it's a blowout. And the blowout is the trials. In my conclusion, last year I was in London, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm watching CNN International. And one of my favorite people, Michelle Obama, was giving a speech. Powerful. She said, I have seen my husband tested, and I've come to the conclusion that the office of presidency doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you are. You see, these tests will reveal. You can be an imam. You can be an alim. You can be this and you can be that. But when that test comes, one day a man said to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, Ya khair al-bariyah, oh, the best of creation. Our Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, was unbelievable. And if you study him, alayhi salatu wasalam, he's always deferring to other prophets. Give a couple examples. In this case, he said, Dhaka Ibrahim, the best of creation is Abraham. Shabir, you know I used to be Christian. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, every human being that is born is touched by shaitan at birth, except who? Huh? Jesus and Mary. Someone asked the Prophet, Man akramu nas, who is the most honorable of people? He said, Yusuf, a prophet, the son of a prophet, the grandson of a prophet, the great-grandson of a prophet. Ahabu salat ilallah, salatu Dawood. Ahabu siyam ilallah, siyamu Dawood. The best prayer to Allah is the prayer of David. The best fast is the fast of David. He's always given some preference to, I give you more, I go all day long. So he said, Dhaka Ibrahim. I asked myself the question, why? What is he trying to teach us? What lessons should we learn from that? Shabir, in the Bible is a verse very similar to the Quran. Allah did take Abraham as a Khalil. That's in the Bible. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, one prayer in my masjid is better than 1,000 prayers in any other masjid. Ila al-masjid al-haram, except Masjid Haram. One prayer in Masjid Haram, the house that Abraham built, is better than 100,000 prayers in any other masjid. Tell me if you agree with me. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. You agree? Every soul shall taste of death. And when we are resurrected, we'll be resurrected naked. And the Prophet said, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam will be the first one dressed on Yawm al-Qiyamah. I do this all day long. When we came, where we stayed, but we already knew it, but the first time we went there, we had to ascertain the Qibla, the direction of the house that Abraham built. There's Shabir, I don't know if you know this name, John Hagee, televangelist. He was given a speech, and I listened to other people, by the way. I listened to Christians and Jews and other scholars of their religion. I want to hear what they're saying. And he gave a speech, and he said, he was quoting the Bible, God said in Genesis, the 12th chapter and the 3rd verse, whoever curses Israel, God will curse. And whoever blesses Israel, God will bless. And it's in his book, Jerusalem Countdown, chapter 18. So you know me, I'm like this. If you said it, I'm going to check it out. So I got a hold, because I don't remember reading it. So I got a hold of the Bible. I went to Genesis, the 12th chapter and the 3rd verse. You know what it said? Abraham, whoever curses them, God will curse. And whoever blesses him, God will bless. Why you change it? Why did you change it? You pray every day. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali. There's not a prayer that Muslims make except we mention Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. He's special. And I asked myself the question, why? I found the answer. In the Quran, I'm going to quote this ayat, say a few things, and then we close. I'm almost finished. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. That's it. And when we tested Abraham with tests, he passed every test. He passed every test. You go along the line and you see the tests. One of them, the most remarkable to me, seems to me a conversation, a private conversation that Ibrahim had with his wife Sarah. No one is there except Allah. Ya Sarah, laysa ala wajhi ardi mu'min ghairi wa ghairuki. Oh Sarah, there is not one believer on the face of the earth other than you and me. Who you think you are? You want to leave Allah's deen? Because you're sophisticated now? You know, Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah knows and you don't know. You think now, you big shot. You went to the university now, you big shot. You know better now than what Allah has revealed and better than the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. And you're going to leave Islam? Are you crazy? Wallahi, I can't see myself leaving Islam. Do you see yourself leaving Islam? How? How is it possible? But the key is the test. Last year, a 70-year-old man, Kansas City, goes into a bank and he hands the teller a note saying, I got a gun, put money in the bag. And the teller puts about $3,000 in the bag. And the 70-year-old man in Kansas City, rather than walking out the bank, he goes to the lobby and he sits down. In minutes, the police come. You would anticipate because the precinct is half a block from the bank. So when the police come, he says to them, he stops them and says, I'm the one you're looking for, and hands them the bag. They searched him. There was no gun. So he stood in front of the judge, and the judge said, what is this? Why did you do that? He said, Your Honor, I'd rather go to jail than spend one more night with my wife. This is a true story. True story. So he just got sentenced a couple of weeks ago. And you know something about judges? They usually give you a punishment suitable for the crime. So that judge gave that 70-year-old man 6 months home confinement. For the record, him and his wife, they reconciled. But Tess, there's a young Muslim, used to pray all the time, couldn't get a job. Allah blessed him with a job, he stopped praying. Money is a test for a lot of people. Sheikh Mustafa, he talked about it. Philadelphia, there was a homeless man that was homeless on the streets of Philadelphia for 1 year and a half. Fell under hard times. While he was begging, he was near Interstate 95. A woman comes off of the ramp and a car stops. She gets out the car. He said, "What happened?" She said, "I ran out of gas and I don't have any money." It's Philadelphia. So he said, "Get in the car, lock it, and don't open the car." This beggar, homeless for a year and a half, had $20 to his name. He bought a container and he went to the gas station and filled it up and put the gas in that woman's car. Total stranger. She thanked him and she drove off. She came back the next day, said, "You know what? You did a wonderful thing. I want the world to know what you did." She started a GoFundMe page. Within 2 days, raised over $300,000 for that homeless man. He's doing well now. A man, a prince, he goes right here in London and pays $450 million for a painting of Jesus. It's a test. So brothers and sisters, every day we're going to be tested. Don't lose your faith. You know, I think it's 2 weeks ago in Missouri, did you hear about 17 people drowned in that duck boat? 9 from one family. You got to be patient. Because a person who drowned is shaheed. They get the reward of shaheed. You see, you can't judge Allah in this, dunya, because you're judging it by the dunya. Value is what people are willing to pay for it. The Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, Allah will ask the person in hellfire that's least punished. If you had all the money in the wealth, would you use it to ransom yourself? He said, yeah, of course. Least. Then he take a person, see, you feel sorry for the shaheed, the martyr who died for Allah, who gave his life for Allah. You feel sorry for him. And the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, he said, no one who dies and go to Jannah will want to come back to this earth, even though he's given everything and everything in it. Illa shaheed, except a martyr. That martyr will want to come back to the earth to die 10 more times in the way of Allah because of the great honor that they see. Test, man. Some of us will be tested with our health. There's a person, a man, the very day that he learned that his wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, the very day he left her. Irony of ironies, she recovered. He died. I know in Tampa, Florida, a family I know in Imam had every kind of test that you can imagine health-wise. He had brain tumor, he had cancer, he had a heart attack, he's in dialysis, he's in a wheelchair. I have seen his wife pick him up and carry him and put him in a car and take him around. This woman takes care of this Imam 24 hours a day, every day. That may be her ticket to Jannah. Nobody wants to be blind. But if you're blind and you have faith in Allah and patience in Allah, that will be your ticket to Jannah. This is not a joke. Allah is not playing. But we got beguiled by this world. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every one of you to remain a Muslim to the very end. وَلَا تَمُوتُونَ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ إِنَّمَا أَعْمَلُكُمْ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. Your deeds shall be judged by your last deeds. Don't blow it. I give you 1 second, 1 minute picture of the hellfire, and then we finish 10 where you can come take the mic. Allah is really something. Do you know that every once in a while when you read the Quran and the Sunnah, you will see that the people in Jannah can see the people in hell, and the people in hell can see the people in Jannah. A lot of examples, I give you one. The Muslims will look down in hellfire and recognize the people in the hellfire. رَبِّنَا إِخْوَانُنَا كَانَا يَصُومُونَ مَعَنَا وَيُصَلُّونَ مَعَنَا وَتَحَجُّونَ مَعَنَا. Oh Allah, our brothers, they used to fast with us, they used to pray with us, they made Hajj with us. Now I'm saying, I know what Allah is going to say. You don't know what they did after that. But instead of Allah saying that, when the believers make, calling on Allah, Allah said, أَخْرِجُوا مِنْهَا مَنْ أَرَفْتُمْ. Take out of the hellfire all that you recognize. You see, we don't know Allah. We think we know Him. We don't know Him. Getting to know you. Abu Ayyub. I'm just getting my thing because you think I'm not going to stop. I'm showing you, man. I'm walking to my seat. I'm finished. Almost. Last thing. Abu Ayyub said something when he was dying. He said there was a hadith of the Prophet that I hid. And I know why he hid it. Because the same hadith I taught, one of my students, a bright Muslim principal of a public school. When I taught this hadith, she says, Imam, that's a very dangerous hadith. The one that Abu Ayyub, he hid it. But since he's dying, he got to say it. Because it's going to be bad if I don't say it. You know what hadith he said? And I learned so much about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, the Prophet said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ, I swear by Allah, in whose hand my life is. لَأَنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَمْ تُذْنِبُوا لَذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِكُمْ وَجَاءَ بِقَوْمٍ يُذْنِبُونَ فَيَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى فَيَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. He said, if you have not committed sin, Allah would destroy you, get rid of you, and bring people who would sin so that they would ask Allah's forgiveness, and then He will forgive them. How can He be Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim if there's no one to give the mercy and to give the forgiveness and to give that? He's not saying, I want you to commit sin. He's saying this is the nature of human beings. They're going to commit sin. So we ask Allah to forgive us our sins, save us and our family from the fire. Help all of us to enter the Jannah. May Allah bless you, the Zaman family. Tanweer, I love you and your family, man. Like the Arabs say, I love you too much. And I thank you, all the workers, everyone. You thank all that you did, from carrying our stuff from the van to here, to feeding us, from giving us coffee and all of that. Jazakallah khairah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.